What is going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video. Today we're gonna take a look at Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad from Hot Toys, and there's two versions. One is the rooted hair, the Artisan, and this is the standard sculpted version. So the sculpted, you can buy that at Big Bad or pretty much anywhere, but no, I just buy my figures at Big Bad. The Artisan, that's something that you might have to put a queue on. I don't know how many units they made. I didn't read because I don't know, man. So I saw this, and we can all agree prior to this announcement that in my mind Harley Quinn would have been the perfect candidate for an Artisan version. You could just, you can just improve so much. And I think the biggest improvement to this Harley Quinn really is the body. Like the seamless body, the one where you don't see the knees, is, I think, a big jump, right, from the get-go, especially from the backside. On the front, they did a pretty good job of hiding that seam, although you can see that. Also the arms, you can't see this on the shots, but later on you'll see some shots where you don't see the elbow, although it's not that noticeable on the other Harley Quinn. They kept it to a minimum, but I think having the seamless body, of course there's a trade-off of posing her, like with folded arms like this, especially if you put the jacket on. That kind of defeats the purpose, but you don't have that fear, so if the seamed forearm or elbows are really bothering you, then you just put the jacket on. But on the knees, it really does help, in my opinion, especially the Harley Quinn. You don't really need her to, bend those knees too intensely anyway. With that being said, the head sculpt is a bit underwhelming for me. I don't even know. It could be the expression, it could be the positioning of the eyes, but I do have the previous Harley Quinn, the one with an open mouth. And sure, that expression is not for everyone, but I feel like the likeness of that is much better than this one. Considering that, there's a huge gap of time that passed, and obviously the advancement of paint application and rolling eyeball system, it looks like Harley Quinn combined with like a younger Michelle Pfeiffer, I don't know, esque something is, I don't know if she looks kind of older. I'm not sure what it really is, or maybe just the head sculpt from the first version is that good that I wouldn't say underwhelming, because it's a pretty strong head sculpt. It's just it didn't give me the wow factor that I thought I would have, but everything else looks pretty good. I'm specifically impressed with the body, because remember, with the silicone body, they keeps on saying that it's almost impossible to have tattoo on them because it's probably not going to stick. Well, there goes that, that theory right there, because it's Harley Quinn and she's covered in tattoos. So, you got this base that looks like it is, there's a crotch grabber in the back, which is translucent. On some shots, it almost felt like you're going to have magnetic base, but, it's not in art. But when we talk about the hair, I never had any issues with the sculpted hair, but now we're jumping now into the Artisan version of this, which, again, I thought I was gonna be more wowed by, the hair, because that is one of the bigger opportunities for Harley Quinn. Was like, all right, this would have been really good if she was rooted, and now it is, and I think it's done pretty well. But for some reason, I don't know, maybe it's just too new for me, or it's not hitting yet, but it's not as good as I thought, like in my brain. Like, this shot is pretty good. The other shots wasn't, but I don't know what I was expecting, really. Maybe I was expecting something like those life-size bust that looks really good. It feels like the strands on the hair, I don't know, man. I'm not saying it's a bad figure because it looks really good. I just I thought I was gonna be more impressed than I actually am. But we'll see. You know, there's a lot of time for this to pass, but there's enough improvements in here. If you are a Harley fan, specifically this version of the Suicide Squad Harley, which is ironically, you know, not a whole lot of people really like this movie, but they keep on making this version of Harley. It's pretty iconic at this point now. This Harley, they're probably not gonna do a Leto Joker ever again, but this Harley would be made over and over, it feels like, because it became at this point just an icon, which is, you know, it's nice to see. I personally like the movie. You know, I thought it was pretty good. Is it weird to say too that I kind of like Suicide Squad 1 than 2? Maybe I'm in the minority here, but I find that I don't know. I kind of like the first one better. You know, I liked Deadshot better, even though a lot of people didn't like that Joker. I didn't mind it. It didn't offend me, and this is coming from a huge Ledger fan. You know, so. But yeah, the body is amazing. Like the proportions, the way it looks, and it looks like it's a newly developed silicone body. I'm not that huge when it comes to Suicide Squad. I have one. I already sold my Deadshot. About to sell my Jokers, but I don't want to start over again, honestly. This is a cool looking figure. I'm not even gonna try on the Artisan version. You know, like Harley is somebody that I don't really want to spend $500 on. So that's a more empty spot for somebody who needs this. But it turned out pretty well. You know, Me personally, I'm just not too crazy about it. You know, both the character and the figure. But let me know in the comments, how do you think it turned out? Are you satisfied with how it turned out? Were you expecting more or just right? I would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, by the way, there's two versions of this. It looks like there's a special edition and not, but you know, you saw that.